In the world, there are people who are above the majority. That's a fact. Elite athletes, pilots, soldiers, entrepreneurs, basically people who work harder, don't lose focus, sleep better, and make important decisions in just seconds. The thing is, none of this is natural talent or genetics or even luck. It's a biological and psychological system that anyone can use to not depend on motivation and willpower. And in this video, I'm going to show you 4 very simple steps that you can start applying today to begin performing at your 100% in any activity in a predictable way. And by the way, this works even if you have ADHD, like me. But for this, you need to accept a truth that the vast majority of people deny until death, that you cannot beat your body. Most people believe that high performance comes from discipline, and I used to believe that too, but that's not true. If our body, which is our machine, our tool, isn't working properly, if we're having one of those low energy days, man, there's nothing you can do. You won't perform, regardless of your level of discipline. That's because biology comes before discipline. If you're tired, if your body is at 20% battery, you know what's going to happen? You're going to perform at 20% of your capacity. This is exactly why so many people get frustrated when they try to change their habits. People go there all excited, change their routine, start waking up early, start working out, start some new project. But they don't pay attention to the foundation that's going to support all of this. And here we get to our first step, which is recharging your battery. Sleep, nutrition, and mental rest. Without this, it doesn't matter how disciplined you are or how motivated you are, you won't be able to maintain your new behaviors. These are the foundations of performance. Sleep is your charger. It's what will recover your energy. Nutrition is your battery. It's what will keep you on and functioning throughout the day. And mental rest is what will make your battery drain more slowly. The more information, the more stimuli our brain receives, guess what? The more battery it's going to use. In other words, scrolling through TikTok throughout the day is the same as leaving your phone with brightness at maximum and all apps open. The battery dies. So just like you put your phone on airplane mode from time to time and put the brightness on minimum to save battery, you need to take small breaks throughout the day to rest your head so you don't end up like a zombie at 3 in the afternoon. Take small breaks throughout the day. 5 minutes, whatever. Forget your phone. Forget music. Forget headphones. Don't talk to anyone. During this moment, it's exactly for you to let your brain go into rest mode. At night, when it's time to sleep, try to sleep and wake up at the same time every day. This will make everything much easier. Let me ask you a question. Have you been sleeping one day and waking up the next? Or have you been waking up on the same day you went to sleep? In other words, have you been sleeping before or after midnight? Because, man, if you've been waking up on the same day you went to sleep, there's something wrong there, right? Obviously, there are exceptions, but generally speaking, if you've been waking up on the same day you went to sleep, if you've been sleeping after midnight, there's something wrong there, right? And this is one of the worst things you can do in your life. You know why? Because studies show that one poorly slept night can have the same effect as a hangover. You're going to feel bad, you're going to have slow thinking, and you won't be able to do things properly throughout the day. Sleeping well is the most important keystone habit that exists because it's the foundation for our second step, which is controlling your focus. There's no point in having all the energy in the world if you don't know where to put that energy. And I'll admit, this has always been one of my biggest problems because of ADHD. But I learned to control my focus by doing something very, very simple. And if it works for me, it'll work for you. To control our focus, we need to control our environment and not be controlled by it. And to do this, we're going to use 3 basic functions of our phone: the calendar, the timer, and airplane mode. That's it. Starting today, you're going to separate 5 minutes of your day to organize all your tasks for the next day. And pay attention now, because these focus moments, when you're going to do your tasks, don't have a specific time. It'll depend on the type of task you have to do. Usually productivity people and even books about this tend to tell you to separate a moment between 30, 60, or even 90 minutes, which will be your focus blocks. But I'll tell you from personal experience that this isn't the best way, because depending on what you have to do, you might take more or less time than that. And what happens in practice is that when you finish before the expected time, you use that remaining time to procrastinate because you already set it aside in your schedule. And the opposite is also true. When you see that the time you set won't be enough for you to finish what you have to do, you also procrastinate because you know there's no point in rushing because you won't have time to finish. So the best way is for you to determine a time that you can start and finish that task. In other words, this focus block won't have a specific time. It'll be a block for you to finish what you have to do. And once you've done that, once you've set the time you believe you can finish that task, what are you going to do? First of all, you're going to turn on airplane mode. Then you're going to subtract 5 minutes from the time you set. This is important to do because the big problem with focus is lack of engagement. And what you have to do to increase your engagement in that task is increase the level of challenge in executing that task. When the challenge level of something is much higher than your execution level of that task becomes difficult. But when the challenge level is at the same level or slightly above your execution capacity, that task becomes challenged. In other words, your engagement in executing that task will increase. That's exactly why I said you have to subtract 5 minutes from the time you believe you can finish that task. Because by doing this, you'll be increasing the challenge level to slightly above your execution capacity.
And over time, the more you do this, the easier it'll become for you to execute future tasks. But so you don't sabotage yourself, you need to see yourself as a focused person. And here comes our third step, which is your identity. And I know some people will think this is silly, but man, don't underestimate the vision you have of yourself. For everything you really want to maintain in your life long term, you need to add this to your identity.
You want to see how strong this is? Let's go with a very silly example that everyone will understand. Why is it that even when you don't like soccer, you can't change teams? Why don't you change teams even when your team sucks? Because it's part of your identity. And everything that's part of our identity, we protect with all our strength. So if you want to be focused, if you want to be productive, you don't have to say, oh, I want to be focused. I want to be productive. No, you have to create a version of yourself in your head that is focused and productive. This version of yourself, you have to add to your identity. And man, don't underestimate this, okay? Because goals move you for a while, but it's your identity that will move you forever. You know why athletes, pilots, soldiers, entrepreneurs are so disciplined? Because it's part of their identity. An athlete can't go without training. An entrepreneur can't go without working. And it's exactly this identity, the way they see themselves, that keeps them focused even on bad days. Your identity will always be stronger than any desire you have. And for all this to be possible in daily life, we need to create execution systems. The easiest way for you to be consistent in anything is by making these behaviors automatic. Do you need to remember to brush your teeth after lunch? Do you need to remember to shower after working out? No, because it's a behavior you've executed so much throughout your life. It's a behavior that has become so automatic for you that not doing this behavior, not executing this action, has become wrong in your life. These are behaviors that you feel bad about not executing. These are behaviors where not doing them has become wrong. This is exactly what happens with athletes who don't train, with entrepreneurs who don't create new businesses. The choice to do it or not doesn't exist. Not training doesn't exist. Not working, not creating a new business doesn't exist.
So for everything you want to automate in your behavior, you need to determine specific times and repeat this throughout the days. The same way that after lunch you go straight to the bathroom to brush your teeth, you need to have specific times when you're going to execute these tasks you want to make automatic. Because throughout the days, your body will already move automatically to do that. You don't need to keep thinking about what you have to do. You don't spend more energy executing that behavior because it became automatic. You don't think, oh, should I go? Man, I'm kind of late. Oh, do I have time? No, you don't stop brushing your teeth because you're late, right? So just do it. Make execution your new normal. Because the more you execute, the less energy you'll spend executing the next times. The more you execute, the less noise you'll have in doing such action. When I started waking up at 5 in the morning every day, it was hard for me. Nowadays, it's totally normal. I can't not wake up at this time. Even on weekends, I wake up very early.
I have never in my life, and I swear standing up, I swear by everything you want me to swear, I have never hit the snooze button because I already wake up normally. Because waking up early has become so consistent in my life that nowadays I don't spend more energy on this. I don't spend more energy trying to get up and not going back to bed. I get up and that's it. And for you to keep evolving more and more, you need to monitor your evolution. This is what differentiates the good from the excellent. Good people do well. Excellent people monitor problems and solve them. Write down in a notebook or even in notes everything that's being easy for you and where you're having difficulty. This will help you correct problems and encourage you in everything you're improving.
If you liked this video, you'll also like this one. I'll leave it here for you to watch. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video.